Hello everyone, this is me, your host Ria from Earshot, bringing you Bollywood की ताज़ा खबरें in our show Earshot Talkies every Friday. Loaded with trade analysis from some of the best in the business on the new releases, chatpata gossip and movie and OTT news ring. This is one show that is sure to keep Bollywood buzzing for you. This week we have two Bollywood movie releasing: Aditya Chopra's Bunty or Bubbly 2, starring Saif Ali Khan, Rani Mukherjee Chopra, Siddhant Chaturvedi and Sharabri, and Ram Madhavani's Dhamaka, starring Kartik Aaryan, Mrunal Thakur and Amruta Suhas. One at the theatres and the other on OTT. And Amul V. Mohan and exhibitor Akshay Rathi give us some trade talk and tell us what to watch out for. But first, we want to ask our entertainment journalist Upala KVR on what's hot and what's not. Hi Upala.
Hey Ria, a very good day to you. We have a news break of the week. Will Salman Dabang Khan appear as Chulbul Pandey in Rohit Shetty's Singham 3 sharing screen space with Ajay Devgan? Then there's gossip on Rajkumar Rao and Patralekha's wedding that happened in Chandigarh this week. You know, Ria, what's not hot? It's Bollywood folks getting bashed up for nepotism for quite some time now. Sushant Singh Rajput, who passed away tragically last year, was given a break by Jitendra's daughter Ekta Kapoor in a television series. Buzz is that apparently even it was against the wishes of the TV channel which was airing the show, but Ekta took the final call. We know that Sunil Shetty's son Ahan's Tarap releases next month, and Anil and Boni Kapoor's younger brother and actor Sanjay Mahib's daughter Shania has just begun shooting for Shashank Khaitan and Karan Johar's rom-com Dono Mile Is Tarah. We now hear that Zoya Akhtar is planning a musical entertainer with Shah Rukh Khan's daughter Suhana, Boni and Sridevi's younger daughter Khushi, and Amitabh Bachchan's grandson Agastya Nanda. But the fact is, they are all good-looking, talented youngsters who have acting in their genes, so why not? Shah Rukh Khan and Farah Khan gave a break to Deepika Padukone. Aditya Chopra's talent wing has showcased actors like Ranveer Singh, Anushka Sharma, and more, while Karan Johar has given breaks to newbies like Siddharth Malhotra and Siddhant Chaturvedi. We can safely say that the talent has only pushed the film industry to produce good content movies which have done well at the box office. Then we have some hot gossip on what Sanjay Dutt is doing in Dubai. And of course, last but not the least, buzzes that Rohit Shetty and Reliance Entertainment have sold their blockbuster release Suryavanshi for a whopping 100 crore to Netflix. Over to you, Ria.
Thank you so much Upala. Well, what will be your reaction if I tell you that Chulbul and Singham can be seen together on the same screen? Yes, we have heard Rohit Shetty has already started working on his next script with the team of scriptwriters. Singham 3, starring Ajay Devgan as DCP Bajirao Singham, will be an extension of the Cop universe, and buzz is that the Salman Khan will make an entry in it as Chulbul Pandey. This will be Rohit's way of introducing Chulbul to the Cop universe, which already has Singham, DCP Veer Suryavanshi of the ATS, starring Akshay Kumar, and Inspector Sangram Simba Bhalera, starring Ranveer Singh. It has been one of the Rohit's wishes to direct a film with Ajay and Salman together. And if this is the one, we know that it will be the biggest blockbuster of the year. Singham 3 is set to have a 2023 release. Zip it up, says Rajkumar and Patralekha. As we informed our audience, Rajkumar Rao and his long-time fiancée Patralekha got married this week at a beautiful wedding attended by close family and friends in Chandigarh. By the way, all the guests were given strict instruction not to reveal a single word before or after the wedding. The reason? Raj and Patra wanted it to remain exclusive and intimate and not a media tamasha. Every guest who attended was given permission to release pictures only after the couple gave the go-ahead. Well, Zoya brings Archie to India. Zoya Akhtar is bringing her own version of Archie comics to India. While her movie is said to be an action musical set in the 1960s and based around the fictional teenagers Archie Andrew, Jughead Jones, Betty Cooper, Veronica Lodge, and Reggie Mantle. There is talk that she will cast Suhana Khan in Veronica's role. Augusta Nanda as Archie, and Janvi Kapoor as Betty. Archie Comics CEO publisher John Goldwater recently spoke about the collaboration, calling it a truly unique and exciting take on Archie and Friends through the lens of Indian cinema. Zoya's company, Tiger Baby Film, will also co-produce the project with Graphic India. What is Sanju Baba doing in Dubai? Sanjay Dutt is literally going places. After being given the golden visa from the UAE government, he has become the ambassador of the island city of Zanzibar, where he will contribute to the investment, health and education sector of Zanzibar and promote tourism for it. Apparently, the actor and his wife Manyata have been flying in and out of Dubai as their children, Shahran and Ikra, are studying there. We have now heard that Sanju Baba has bought a huge apartment with a spacious elevator in the exclusive upscale locality of Maiden area of District 1. It has everything from waterfront villas to luxury townhouse with private elevators and beautiful contemporary apartments. We wonder which among these has he bought. But first, it's over to Saif Ali Khan, who tells us exclusively three reasons to watch his movie and his first day with Rani.
Funnily enough, it sounds like a cliche, but we just slipped back into exactly the same rhythm as we have always had. I normally have slightly tricky first days on shoots because I'm not sure what the character is, and there's so many different ways one could do it that you end up getting a bit paralyzed. At least I do, in which direction to go in. And not so with this. We started with a fun scene where I misbehaved the night before and I kind of get a bucket of mehndi poured over my head. And it was fairly easy. And I think we hit the rhythm from day one and just kept going. Like I said, it's a family entertainer. It's about family values on one level. And I think there's something I myself have learned the importance of a good family entertainer, something you can take your kid to watch and share together without worrying about bad language or violence or whether this is going to affect them in any way, and just relax and have a laugh, hopefully. That's really all there is, Fun really is the only reason that you would want to watch the movie. So I suppose you could say fun 3 times. Fun, fun, fun. Yeah.
Now over to our trade folks who tell us about the 2 new releases today. First, we have Akshay Rathi, who owns the chain of independent single screens under Ashirwad Theatres. And next, we have Amul V. Mohan, producer and editor of Super Cinema. Amul, so my first question is for you. 2 movies are releasing this week, one in theatre and one in OTT platform, Bunty or Bubbly 2 and Dhamaka. What do you have to say about it?
Yeah, so there are 2 movies releasing this week, which is the new norm also nowadays. One is releasing on an OTT platform. One is releasing obviously on like the traditional manner in a theater, which is Bunty or Bubbly, and then on the OTT it's Dhamaka. Um, that's the new thing now. You can't fight that. I think, given the situation that has been in the last 18 months or so, you have to be prepared for this. There are deals that have happened prior, um, and so on and so forth. So, and a little known fact is that Dhamaka was initiated and made as an original Netflix film. So it was always supposed to be out on Netflix and Netflix alone, like an OTT platform alone. It was never going to have a traditional release in terms of that. So that's that is the situation there.
Well, this question is for both of you. What are your takes on Bunty and Bubbly 2 at the box office? Are families ready to go out and watch it, given Bunty or Bubbly was a super hit?
I think families are going to go out for it, but the point of the matter remains is that we still have to take the numbers Suryavanshi is doing with a pinch of salt, because it was a holiday period. Traditionally, that is a different way it is supposed to work out for, in terms of people coming out in hordes to watch the film, which they did in Suryavanshi's case. But there are protocols all across the country. There are still states, massive big states, which still don't have 100% occupancy allowed for them to run the films at 100% occupancy, basically. Um, so that's still the situation right there. It'll be interesting to see because Bunty or Bubbly, for me personally, is the first film we really genuinely start to see what kind of normalcy is coming back into, uh, audiences going back into the movie theaters for sure.
Akshay, what are your views?
Absolutely. I think the fact that families are willing to come out has been witnessed in the release of Suryavanshi. All kinds of moviegoers, from the masses to the urban audience, the families, everyone came out for the film, and that's testimony to the fact that Bunty or Bubbly stands a great chance if the people want to watch it and if the content interests them, which I think is in place.
What can we look forward to in Bunty or Bubbly 2? Amul.
What can I look forward to in Bunty and Bubbly 2 is predominantly a quintessential YRF film, has a good story, is a part of a franchise now, which was never the case. After like 12, 13 years, they're coming up with a part 2. Younger people, included in the original story idea. I think those are quirks that the audiences at large would like, including me. That's a fact. Saif's introduction is also a newer facet for people to exploit and understand. So there is people who come in with the norm that they saw Abhishek in the previous part. It'll be interesting to see how they figure out with Saif here in the second part.
Akshay, what are your views?
I think the best thing about Bunty or Bubbly, the first film, was its music, and of course the world that was created. Of course, it's an imaginary world, but I think it was greatly entertaining. And if Bunty or Bubbly 2 can manage to do the same, I think moviegoers would have an absolutely terrific time watching it. And more so, it's a reboot of sorts because you've got the original Bunty or Bubbly characters, and these two young new actors playing interesting roles in the same premise. So I think it'll be a great comedy, and even going by the trailer, it looks like a very entertaining film. So looking forward to it.
Well, it's the first movie from Yash Raj Films post pandemic. What do you guys have to say about it, Akshay?
Yashraj is one company that has completely stood like a pillar behind the exhibition sector and held on to all their films despite being a private limited company in that sense. So kudos to them, and I'm sure that the entire exhibition sector will back them in every possible way and try and ensure that it becomes a great hit.
Amul, what about you?
It's the first movie of YRF post pandemic. It's not really the first film. The first film that they did release last year in March was Sandeep or Pinky Farrar, which they held on for a long time. But predominantly, they've held on to all their releases. They've not succumbed to the needs of selling it on OTT like many other production houses across the board have done. So I think that's a big factor for YRF to hold back and go the traditional way. They wanted people to come back to the cinemas, and their content that they had ready was their calling card, and they're using that now. And they have a spate of films that are ready, and they'll be releasing in the next few months, starting primarily with Bunty or Bubbly. So it's an interesting time to see how that goes for them as well.
So, do you guys feel, given that Kartik Aryan is so popular, Dhamaka should have been released in theaters? Also, it's Ram Madhavan's next after Neerja. Amul?
That's a fact. Kartik Aryan is one of the most popular younger actors in on the scene right now. Um, but having said that, like I said earlier on, like I hit the point earlier on, Dhamaka was envisioned to be straight to Netflix, straight to OTT film, which is what they've done, and more power to them. They saw an opportunity. They shot the film in the pandemic, just before the second wave hit in this year, April, and they finished the film before that. So they've been ready with the film for a while now, and it'll be interesting to see. It's a remake of a very popular Korean film. That is a great aspect again to see how they adapt that scenario into the film. So there are some interesting facets about that going around. As far as Ram Madhwani's next after Nirja, obviously people are going to be excited to watch him say another story in the past, in the last lockdown as well, in the first lockdown, ideally. He came out with Arya, which was really popular, which got Sushmita Sen back into the fray of a lot of people, and so he directed that as well, which was again a remake of a film. Of a show, sorry, of a foreign show. So yeah, so people are excited. People are going to be excited. He's a big name director in terms of the way he executes, and has a very particular pattern of the way he goes about with his scenarios, with his films. More importantly, and so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out for both Karthik and Ram in this one.
Akshay, your views?
Kartik Aaryan's a very popular actor, no doubts, and I really hope that all his movies going ahead release in theaters. But having said that, I think this was a movie that was largely designed and planned for a streaming release. It was shot in the middle of the pandemic, and the deal for the streaming release was done well in advance, so it's fine. I mean, as long as he has a lot of other movies lined up for theatrical, including the next one, which is Bhool Bhulaiya, which looks phenomenally exciting. So very excited about it and look forward to seeing him where he belongs, which is on the big screen.
Okay, so my last question is to you, Amul. What can we look forward to? I mean, when one movie is releasing in theater and one is in OTT, isn't it better than clashing on the same day at box office?
The last question is a very interesting one. The thing about movies, the thing about first, let's just talk about um, comfort zone. I think people will have to find a comfort zone in going into theaters where it's going to be an enclosed place with a lot of other people around. Are people open to doing that right now? As soon as it's just happened now. So I don't feel that all over people are going to be okay with doing that. There are a lot of people who have now just got into the habit of watching films on OTT because there is a certain sense of comfort. They can pause it, they can pick it up, they can watch it at their own comfort without trying to mingle with other people. And there is a lot of section of people that is still very s- very scared. Not scared is not the right word, but fearful of basically what's still around in terms of COVID. There are many families which have not got the full vaccination yet, so that kind of fear psychosis is also there in and around people's dynamics, thought processes for sure. um, as far as you saying that it does it is it better to clash at the box office than to clash like this? It's not level playing field right now anyways, because pan India there is no okay for an occupancy of 100% allowed for movie theaters for every single territory. So that's still one of the major factors. I think once we do get to a point where it's 100% occupancy, it'll be interesting to see how they go about it. Then there is still time, and I think this is going to become something of a norm as well. Like not now, but there are OTT platforms which have now become so powerful in terms of their spending power and their storytelling acumen over the last 18-19 months since lockdown number one, that they've got that freedom, and they might be coming for it, not now but rather later down, maybe 6 months, 5 months down the line, when there'll be a normalcy of movies releasing in theaters, and at the same time movies releasing on OTT platforms, because those are being greenlit as we speak as well. So this is going to be an interesting take, and let's hope it just brings happy days and some semblance of happy days back into the industry, regardless of where the film releases, be it an OTT platform or traditional movie theater going experience.
Thank you so much, Amul and Akshay, for your insights. Moving ahead, next week we have two biggies releasing: Satyamev Jayate 2 starring John Abraham and Divya Khosla Kumar, and Antim starring Salman Khan and Ayush Sharma. Salman, who is also producing Antim, and director Mahesh Manjrekar tells us how they have stunned by their lead actor Ayush's transformation for his role as a gangster, while Satyamev Jayate 2 director Milav Zaveri speaks to us exclusive on John's triple role for the first time and his transformation in the movie. Let's listen to Milav Zaveri first about John's transformation for Satyamev Jayate 2.
जब तक हमारा देश हर किस्म के भ्रष्टाचार से आज़ाद नहीं होगा तब तक ये आज़ादी नहीं मनाएगा. And it was very great to see the physical transformation for John. He brought a certain, when you see the film, you realize when he's Jay, he's more puffed up and he's pumped. You know, his biceps are rippling and bulging. When he's Satya, he almost looks lean. He looks lean and he looks, very dignified. When he's Dada Sahib, he looks larger than life. Like I always feel that the lowest of low angles would not be enough to show how larger than life Dada Sahib is. So John really, John Abraham, he can take off his shirt any time of the day, any time of the year. He'll have a 6-pack, 8-pack. So John really worked hard on his physical transformation, his body. There are a lot of scenes in the film where he was bare-bodied, and the body you see in the film is real. It's John's body. There's no CG. There's nothing like that. And he really worked hard, on his diet, his workout, and he worked out in such a way that the body, when you see on Dada Saab, is a farmer's body. It's the body of a son of the soil. And Jay is buff, he's tough, he's like this tough cop, And Satya, like I said, is lean. So, that's the process John went through physically, also transforming himself into the 3 roles of this film.
Now let's listen to what Salman Khan and Mahesh Manjrekar has to tell us about Ayush's role.
I was shocked. There's such a huge transformation from Love Yatri to Antim. He's worked so hard on it that his work, inshallah, will be appreciated.
I realized that this boy had a lot of passion and he's extremely focused. He knows what he wants to do. I think he has done a brilliant job. Nobody I see in the industry today would have played Rahul so convincingly and so brilliant. He really worked very hard on the physical transformation of the character. And he did a very tough looking guy.
Well, that's all for today. I'm your host Ria and this is Earshot Talkies. We will see you next week with some more gossip and buzz around the Bollywood. Till then, stay tuned to Earshot.
Earshot, here and now.